There we go. I'm just going to get used to talking to the camera. So, give me a minute to get used to it. Because, oh, it's so weird. Oh no, I don't think I can. I think oh no, okay. Something I've always wanted to do, I reckon, but like I thought I'd be quite good at being whatever people are that talk in front of a camera. But yeah, it's something that maybe, I reckon it's sort of a self-doubt thing. I'm not going to start this again, even though I really want to, because I know I'll keep starting it over and over again. And this isn't for anyone anyway, this is just for me. So I can document this year of my life, and no one can really understand me like me. So we'll see how it goes. I'll upload this. Actually, if I'm having this much trouble filming, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. But there are things that I'd like to look back on, and my opinion on certain topics that I'd like to compare to, because I've been thinking a lot about sort of the short life that I've had at the moment, and how much I've changed in that, and how my opinions have changed within that. I know I'm repeating myself, but okay, no, this is fine because I'm getting used to this thing. Okay, so I've just watched, let's just start with what I'm currently thinking about. I've just watched a video by Reese Witherspoon explaining how we see a lot in films how women look to a man and say, what do we do now? And how it's those small things, like when a woman when a woman's about to start speaking, for example, in a meeting, she'll say, sorry, can I just say this? She'll apologise before she speaks. And that's not necessarily the case for all women, but I think a majority of us feel like we have to make an excuse before we present our opinion, because we know, or we feel like it will be felt that it's not as valid as maybe a man's opinion in a certain field, and I don't think that's right. And I remember having a conversation with my mum about how I believed that men basically had a better idea about life because they're more used to this position of power, therefore they're better in acting powerful because they've had this ancestry of being in charge, whereas women haven't, and it's a new thing. So maybe that's why I'm finding this quite awkward and difficult, because everything that I'm saying right now I'm thinking about too much, and I probably repeated myself quite a lot on certain things, on certain topics. Like now, like I'm just zoning out because I'm thinking about the next thing to say. Is it entertaining enough? But like again, who am I making these for anyway? Like I'm not making these for an audience. This is for my own thing. So I just need to relax. But I think this will be good for me, and I'll try not to be cringed out, which I probably will be when I watch this back. I'll be like, oh, she's giving it a go. That's cute. But yeah, I think I'll explain the current situation that I'm in. So I feel I'm at a point where I'm beginning to learn this confidence in myself, and I'm beginning to find my voice and be okay with the voice that I have. And when I give an opinion, I'm not constantly thinking, this person's just thinking this is ridiculous what I'm saying, or I'm being too over dramatic, or I'm trying to get attention, or whatever. So it's the week before Christmas of 2017, we're about to go into the new year, so I thought I'd make one before the new year starts, and then maybe as a new year's resolution I will continue this, because I feel like of the few sessions of meditation that I've had, one sentence that was said to me through Headspace, which is this app, was, you don't need to share every thought that I have. Although you might think that it's an important one, and you might think that this person will agree with me, therefore like me, you don't need to express everything that you're feeling about a certain topic. And I think the reason that I'm becoming quite, I guess in my mother's words, hyper at the moment, is because I'm just starting to feel okay with what I'm saying. So I want to be able to share it with my opinion with everybody, regardless of whether they agree with it or not, because I feel confident in my intellect now that I can communicate and I can keep up with certain topics, even if they're not something that I'm well versed in. I can still appreciate the knowledge of that certain topic. What is this? That also needs to change in the new year. Like, what's going on there? Fringe goals. So I'll do it on here instead. I'll evaluate a certain topic, and then I can watch back later and compare it to how I'm feeling at that time, to how I maybe have a few days of reflection. Would I still be feeling the same thing? So anyway, I feel confident in the way I'm looking. I don't think any girl ever feels confident in the way that she looks, but I feel like I've come to an acceptance that this is the way I look now, and I feel okay about it. And I always thought that if I felt good in the way that I looked, I'd feel good in the way that I came across as well, because at least I'd have looks to fall back on. But now I'm realising that actually, like, who cares? I don't give a shit anymore about what people think about the way that I look. I have weird frizzy ginger hair and glasses, and I've always had that. I always will. So I'm cool with that now. So now we can start thinking about who I want to become, who I want to be later on. And I've just started turning into the adult that I now have always hoped to be. So I feel like maybe we should stop it there. 8 minutes. Yeah, fuck it, I'll just keep going. So I have amazing friends at uni. I go to the University of Birmingham. I live with 4 incredible boys who are all beautiful people, who I get on with and will get on with for the rest of my life. I have lovely friends at home that I've went to school with for 10 years, plus my other group of friends, 3 boys who genuinely make me laugh, which I think is probably the most important thing I look for in any kind of relationship with anyone. I have parents that care about me a lot, and love me. And although I feel like I might get on their nerves sometimes, I know that I'm valued by them. And 2 sisters, both of whom I get on with, although we're going through a weird time at the moment where we're all a bit anxious and tense, and we don't really know what to do with each other, and we don't really know how to act around each other, which is weird because we've known each other our whole lives, but it's this new coming into ourselves thing that we're all kind of going through. So we're all rediscovering how to work together to like have a consistent relationship. I feel like this is going quite well, actually, although I'm not articulating myself that brilliantly. I may be repeating certain things. See, I'm doing that thing that women do, the sorry thing. I'm trying to justify my thoughts, and I shouldn't do that. I don't think I should do that. But that I feel like will be something that I learn to do. But I feel like I am a smart person, but not just like not necessarily book smart. I don't know a lot about science or history, but I feel like I'm people smart. I feel like I can look at a situation and remove myself from it and look at it more as a overall thing rather than in the moment. And I don't look at situations quite so literally. I think, what does that person mean when they say that? And I think there must be, I try and place myself in people's shoes, which I feel makes me a good listener, I hope, because I think that's an important quality to have. And yeah, so I'm feeling quite good at the moment, although I'm feeling quite anxious a lot of the time. I have a feeling that's something to do with the fact that I'm coming to home from uni, which was always so go-go, and even though it's not like fast-paced at uni, it's just a very different environment to how it is here. I act differently here to how I am at uni, and I don't act in a better or worse way in either situation, but it's just a difference, and it takes a bit of time to adjust, and I feel like that's okay. I'm finding my feet again, and I feel like I just at the moment have a lot of a lot of time is going into thinking about things more existentially and looking at and trying to find another thing to what I already know. And this may not make sense to if anybody would be watching this, which I don't see why they would be, but to me, you know what I mean. I'm thinking a lot at the moment, which is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, but in balance. Okay, let's end it with this, because I figured out, I think the conclusion I'm sat on at the moment, and the main tagline to my life is, you have to find the balance within everything. You know, you don't have to go back to uni and say, that's it for me. I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not doing any drugs, that's it. I'm going to focus, I'm going to do work, I'll be in the library every day, because that's ridiculous, and you end up failing. But at the same time, you can't just sit in your room and smoke weed every day and watch YouTube and do nothing. And I don't do either of those. But it's a constant trying to equal out the scale. I feel myself going more towards this way, which is a good thing. But then that anxiety comes with the working really hard, and then the pressure is put on yourself. And then if you do want to do those sort of slightly more responsible things, and you feel incredibly guilty for that. So it's not too great to tip completely this way, but at the same time, you know, work starts to slip, and I start to think more simple thoughts, and life just becomes a bit boring and flat. So it's it will never be this is where I am, I'm perfectly in balance in life at the moment. Or maybe it will be, and maybe that's, like, I hope that's the situation I'll be in when I die. I'll feel like I have those two things and I've done them both equally. And I feel like if you have your perspective is not the same as anybody else's in the world. Like, because what you go through with other people, you're still going through things on your own. So your perspective of happiness is always different to anybody else. So we're our own universe, you know. We create our own morals, and we know what we think is right and wrong. And I think if you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting anybody else, I don't see why you shouldn't be doing something. So that's the attitude I'm having at the moment, and I think it would be fun if I was to document this, and you know, I might stick to it. This might be the only video I make, but it's quite therapeutic, and I feel quite good about it. So yeah, we'll end it there. If anyone was to watch this is just going to be I'm not anyone different. I'm not this, you know. I feel like I'm quite funny sometimes. I funny looking. See, no, that was terrible. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I am. This is what I am at the moment. I'm going to see what happens as the year goes on.